Hello, I'm Dr. Karen Poirier-Brode, this past year's Artist-in-Residence for the American Medical Women's Association. I've been the physician chair of the Studio AMWA group since its inception, and I'm honored to be one of the names in this list of distinguished prior AMWA artists-in-residence. You can find my story on the Studio AMWA page on the AMWA website, and my art at artofkarenpoirierbrode.blogspot.com. I'd like to take a moment to thank my husband, Cal Barwick, for his love and support during this past year. Although his patience was tried at times, he had a frequent lament, "Are you done with that project yet?" His diagnosis with advanced cancer this past year was an unexpected addition to the soup of a rather trying year. I think we may have all had a challenging year faced with the impacts of the coronavirus. Nevertheless, I persisted. I had a great deal of fun while I completed my tasks and learned much. This year, as artist-in-residence, I often collaborated with the music and medicine group. I created first this logo called Variations on a Theme, incorporating stethoscopes into the design. We embarked on 2 videos that I know you're going to learn more about from Dr. Roro when she presents the music and medicine segment. I also illustrated a Get Your Mammogram jingle that had a 40s theme. And here are a couple of dance logos I'm hoping Dance and Medicine might have an opportunity to use. Now, most artists pick an idea from their most comfortable art while creating their work. As a mixed media artist, that left me a lot of possibilities. Naturally, I had to explore something I've only dabbled in before. I took classes and studied more intensively book arts. I decided on a series of 3 books illustrating public health and our response to the coronavirus. I chose my color palette as neutrals. However, I couldn't resist adding my favorite color palette, red, yellow, and blue, the primary colors. This first book is 6 feet apart, illustrating social distancing. Notice my physician is standing on one of those circles that we're well acquainted with at queues, at places from the grocery store to the pharmacy. However, at the same time that it says a traditional 6 feet 2 meters apart, it's illustrated with an imprint of a pair of high heels. The second book here was a lot of fun. It's an atypical book formation. You may have seen books made of cheese or ham slices or other ordinary objects, sometimes very temporary structures. I chose to use some Bounty paper towels. The 20 pages and numbers are there to emphasize 20 seconds of hand washing. I like that it incidentally works with the year 2020. The final book in this series, titled History and Prescription, has an interior of letterpressed Reeves BFK paper with a series of images of a woman in a mask and vaccine and syringes. Each signature's interior page has a quote taken from a woman physician or an institution. I chose those which best illustrated to me the course of the virus. It's bound with a braided 2-color Coptic stitch, and you'll notice the last page in the book has nothing on it because the story's not over yet. Now, I want to briefly mention the Studio AMWA ongoing White Coat project. Visit our web pages on the AMWA site and learn more about it. I have for many years wished to use AMWA founder Bertha Van Hoosen's book, Petticoat Surgeon, and make that into a lab coat. Recently, I've had it printed onto a Tyvek paper. I've done a mock-up here. There's a bit more for this design, but that's a bit of a surprise. Look to our page to see more about it. As the Studio AMWA Committee's physician chair, I very delightedly introduce our newest American Medical Women's Association artist-in-residence, Zainab Mabazari. She's a poet, author, and storyteller, and she's going to bring her strength and imagination to the work. I invite you to visit her art and get to know her better at her website, thezmab.com. Let's welcome her to her new position. Thank you and enjoy the conference.